Oh no. It's showing me.
Flip the camera.
Thank God
You're
I can
on
do.
camera.
Right. Thank God I can do that. Okay. Hello, everybody. We are just testing now. Thank you for coming early. Grandma, hold that microphone right to your mouth. Greg, tell me.
Should I move my mask?
Sure. Move your mask. You can move your mask now. Yeah. Greg, tell us when you see her. And everybody, if you want to give us feedback too, that's great. We're doing this indoors today.
Because it's like spring.
No, it looks like it's sideways, but I don't know if it really is.
Hold on, I'm getting in.
Good, get in. Whoa. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
on video? She's upside down, sideways.
She's upside down.
No, she's not. Oh, no, perfect. Okay. No, perfect.
Oh, she's sideways and she's horizontal?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, Grandma, talk loud.
Okay. Tell me if I'm too loud or too low.
Now say that again, Grandma.
Okay. Tell me if I'm too loud or too low.
Did it change, Greg?
I'm very comfortable.
Oh, the problem is I have the phone on. Hold on. Let me turn my phone down. Hold on.
Grandma, you have all your notes with you?
The what?
You have all your notes with you?
Everything.
Perfect.
And I realized.
Where is the drawing so that I can show it?
The drawing
Okay.
is right here.
Okay, good.
Martha.
I can't hear you, honey.
I don't think this is gonna work. I gotta hang up. It doesn't work when you're on both.
Oh, okay. So you want to text Hedy? Or you could say the answers on live, okay?
Let me hang up the phone because that's not working.
Do you want to text me? Okay.
Could I have those folders over there?
Of course you can.
They're my notes.
You don't deserve your notes.
But I'll get them anyway, right?
Okay, beautiful. This is great.
Oh, Kenny, it's so good to be here. In the house instead of freezing outside.
Hedy, can you say something else?
Yes, I can say hello, everybody. Welcome. And we're all amateurs, but we're learning.
Okay. So that was there. Now, have Grandma speak again. Grandma, could you speak
Okay.
again?
I have a lot to tell you today. And we'll begin with the drawing first.
So, Greg, was it different? Is the microphone working? Waiting for your response, Greg. The mic is working. Yes.
There's a little box in that bag of something new.
We don't need nothing new. We are good. You want to take your mask off completely?
Should I?
That's such good news. Yeah, take it off.
Even though I'm near you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Freedom.
I know. Okay, what time is it? We have a few minutes. We have
Kenny, and there's a clock here.
Beautiful. Okay, I will let you know the time. You want me to know, like,
Yes.
5 minutes left?
Yes.
Okay, great.
This is so comfortable, Kenny.
Great. This is great. Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody.
Go to the bathroom. And Kenny, I have here the picture, the painting for you to show.
Of course.
Okay. And they posted everything?
Everything is posted. Vienna is posted. Your painting is posted. The story is posted. It's all posted.
Fraulein and Vogel?
Yes, all posted. Jess posted it all.
Oh, otherwise, because Kenny, this will be next week also.
Good, but it's all posted.
Or maybe the week after,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the reception.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell me when to begin.
I will. You have a few more minutes. Is anybody on? Nobody's on yet. Hello, dear folks. We're going to start in a minute, but I only see one person on, so I'm just a little concerned, and we're going to wait a moment.
Could I peek and see what you're seeing? Or shouldn't I move?
It's not on. It's somehow not working for anyone. Everybody, please wait 1 second. Greg, please wait 1 second. Oh, good. People are coming on. Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Grandma. Oh, it says sideways. Hi, all. Could you tell me, before we start, if this picture is sideways or straight up? Because someone said it's sideways. Now, 2 people are saying it's sideways.
Is Eileen there by any chance?
Eileen is there. Eileen said it's sideways, but Greg said it's not. Everyone's saying it's sideways. Okay. Dear folks, is this better? Can you tell me if this is better? For Greg, it wasn't sideways. Is it still sideways? Oh, no. Well, let's give it a moment. Flip it, Ken. I did flip it.
I don't mind
There.
being sideways.
Okay. Better. Okay, folks. Good. Yay. Okay. So I just have to move this camera just a little bit to redo this. Give us a moment, folks. So glad it's working.
If it's sideways, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no. It's not sideways anymore. You are good.
Because the voice isn't going to be sideways.
Okay, dear folks. Hedy, you are on.
Welcome, everybody. Am I on sideways or in between?
You're perfect now.
Perfect. Okay, guys, it is a miracle because it is a miracle. Let's just begin. First, I'm going to begin with somebody in a mask. Her name is Martha, and she's been a friend of mine for many, many years. The only problem is her skin is milky, creamy, and I couldn't show that in pencil. So I made her mask very dark, and she has white hair, so I needed darkness in it. Look at her eyes, because she's a very intelligent person, and it shows in her eyes. Martha is a writer, and I printed a lot of her things, and I have them in a folder because she's awesome. Okay, now let's begin. Today, first I'm going to show the painting, and then we're going to talk about Vienna. And the more I think about Vienna, the more I know it won't end with one session of Vienna. It'll end up having to be another one afterwards. So let us begin, okay? The painting of the Muscat corner is one of 3 paintings of that corner, because somebody asked me, why is it Orchard Street? In this huge city, and with so many paintings that you ended up doing, and yet Orchard Street. Let me help you with this. I have it on it. Why don't I hold the camera in the meantime?
No, that's okay. If you could just get that up.
Okay, get you the picture again. Yep.
And everybody, just to let you know that this is on her wall. It is posted. This picture is posted.
Okay, and here it is without a wall. And I'll tell you the story, because even though it's on the wall, I'll just give you a brief idea. A friend had said to me, why did Orchard Street have such a pull on you? Why was it Orchard Street? And I don't know. Joni drove me to the city when I made that decision. I'm going to sit on a sidewalk with the canvas, and I'm going to be brave and sit on the street and do it. And we got off the bridge, and there was Muscat's. And that was it. That was it. I knew it was meant to be there. It was meant to be for me. As a matter of fact, when I was home painting on that painting, because at the end I worked at home when the lights were correct, and when there was no soot and dirt falling on my palette. And a friend, Kathy Olson, came by, and I put her into the painting, and I hope she's watching, because when I called her and told her, wait,
Take your time, find your notes.
Yes, my glasses. Okay. Let me tell you this part.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to tell you about the people who are in this painting. Jimmy sells hot dogs on the left side of the street. He sells ices in summer, pretzels and peanuts in winter, and both in between. Jimmy is from South Carolina, and we've known each other since I first started to paint on Orchard Street. Next to mascots, carrying a suitcase, I painted Kathy Olson. Kathy had never been to Orchard Street. We've been friends for years, and one day she came to visit me when I was painting, and I put her next to mascots. Weeks later, she called. We were driving into the city, and suddenly I saw the mascot sign. There was the spot I stood on in the painting. I couldn't get over the fact that it was really there. I know what she means. I have the same feeling. To me, this area is magic, and whenever I set up my canvas, I marvel at the fact that all this exists for me to paint.
Would you read the beginning about why you love that?
I should read the beginning of it, sure. At least a year before I was able to begin this painting, I had planned it in my mind. The corner of the Lansdowne Orchard fascinated me. The tops of the buildings seemed to walk like steps into the sky. Orchard Street looked like a crown, and the Lansdowne Street teemed with life. But in order to get the angle which I wanted, I had to sit on a spot which is like a furnace. There was no shade and no protection, and after a short time of work, my head and eyes would seem to swim. But on the corner right across, there is a blimpie, and I will need to talk to you about Martin Pereira, who gave me shelter there. But that'll be in painting number 21. So for that, you've got to wait for 4 weeks, because I do a painting a week. Okay? And now, people talked. People said, why you paint this? Why you don't find a park? Why you paint those dirty buildings? Somebody said she wants to, so let her paint what she wants to. And another one said, oh, look, she's painting mascots. And then somebody said, please, lady, would you watch my bike while you're sitting there? Which reminds me of another story, it doesn't belong here. It belongs to another painting. But let me say it, because I was really innocent. Somebody pulled back when I was doing another painting and said, lady, would you watch this bike for me? And I said, sure. And a short while later, they drove up with a van and said thank you and put the bike into the van. When I told my family about it, they said, Mom, you just helped somebody steal the bike. So you see, I didn't understand. When somebody asked me to watch a bike, it might be because they stole it. Okay.
Should I read you some feedback people said so far?
Yes.
Okay. And were you able to find your notes for this? If not, take a minute and look.
Yes.
Take all the time to look for it.
I think I did read that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I did read it,
So
yeah.
Eileen said, the drawing of Martha is beautiful. Martha said, it's me. Kathy Olson is here, and she said, it's wonderful to be with you, Hedy. And Eileen said, so much beautiful detail in this Orchard Street painting. And Kathy said, I'm watching, dear Hedy. And Julie Williams said, hello, dear Hedy and Paige family. We have a conflict tonight, so we can't stay for the live broadcast, but we'll look forward to watching it later this week, and we love you all.
Oh, people, this is the miracle. This is the miracle. I wanted to show the world of us. And you know I have an ulterior motive. I want us to be allowed to continue. And the way we are destroying our planet, maybe the planet is saying no to us. And please learn to speak to each other. I'm doing it for you on Orchard Street of close to 50 years ago. What you're seeing no longer exists. I did this around 1973. And it is now 2021. Begin to speak. Tell your stories. I would like to ask you, instead of sending me notes, because I cannot answer you, do something special to help somebody. Write it in your notes to me. Let me talk about it. Let's prove to the universe that we're worth keeping. Okay? And now let me go to Vienna.
Beautiful. And I'm just going to say Joe Tripp is here, and Hernan is here, Mary is here, Janine is here, maybe others, I'm sure many others too. I can't see their info, but just wanted to say all these people are here. Greg is here.
All these people, you're all mine. And I love you, and I'm so grateful. Let me tell you something.
And Eileen is guiding all of this.
Okay. I have spent my life in 3 countries. I'm going to show you why I speak to you the way I do. And I'll begin with Vienna. Vienna is watching today. I was once asked, which country do you belong to? And today when I was going over my notes, I realized I belong to all 3, but the core of me might be Vienna. Vienna is and was, because we went back. My husband Eric was born in Germany and had a beautiful childhood. And then Hitler came. He ended up in the terrible world of concentration camps. He's the only one left alive of his family. Only he and his uncle survived the concentration camp. And he decided that he had to go back to Germany because he had to get rid of the hate he carried. Because so much of Germany had been a wonderful childhood. And so we all went back. And I did not want to go back to Austria. I was filled with anger. And he and my children said, but there was beauty there. You have to go back and find it again. And so we did. We went back, and this was not the Vienna of Hitler. This was back again to the Vienna I remembered. Posted is the story of my teacher, who is the real beginning of why I became an artist. Read it, and I can post it next week again. But also, I need to talk about it, and that I'll do next week. But this week I want to speak about the Neusiedlers. There was, and Beate. Beate, how much time do I have? Do I have a lot of time?
Lots of time, 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Okay. I wrote a letter to Vienna when I found out that the school that I went to was 100 years old. And I wrote to the children of the school, and I wrote, everything that they hear about the Holocaust is true. But what they haven't heard about people who saved others. And one of them was my Frau Lehrerin Vogel, who saved us. And Beate Schutz, who was a newspaper owner, she published that letter. And I got letters back from people who had known my teacher. And I will talk about that next week too. But I did want to mention Beate. But there was a woman named Elizabeth Ben David Hindler who formed a group of Jewish people who had survived and Viennese people who were Christian. And they formed a group called Stones of Memory. And they went to all the houses in that vicinity of where I lived and put plaques up at the doorways of people who had been killed and wrote their names and who they were and how they were killed. And when I heard about that, I subscribed. I said, please, let me know any of these stories that you have. And one of the stories that I read in those newspapers that she published was about a story. When I read it, I ran into Eric's room and I shouted, Eric, I was there. I saw this, I was there. And he said, then write immediately to Elizabeth and find out who wrote that story, and let us find out more. The story dealt with when I was 8 years old. I wasn't allowed to look out of the window. But I was 8 years old, and there was sounds of laughter. So I lifted up the curtain, and I looked. And there was a woman with a sign on her, and children were throwing stones at her. And the sign said, this Aryan pig bought from Jewish stores. Now, it was a crime to support a Jew. So this woman went to her local grocery anyway, because they were friends, and she bought something. And the neighborhood children found out about it, and they painted a sign on her saying, this Aryan pig buys from Jews. And the children were stoning her. So I wrote to Elizabeth Ben David Hindler and asked if the person who had seen this could be in touch with me. And she sent me his name, and I wrote to him. And this is Herbert. And Herbert, I know you're going through problems now, physical problems. And I know that it must be about 1 o'clock now, when it is 7 o'clock here. Please know I will write to you tomorrow and hope that everything went good with your exam. Because Herbert not only wrote to me, but he told me the stories. The stories were Jewish and Christian children used to study together and laugh together. And then Hitler came, and suddenly the janitor put on a uniform, and he forced Jewish families, men and women, especially old ones, to scrub the steps and the doorways and the streets. And Christian children spit on Jewish children. And if somebody went to support their local grocery, they had a sign put on them, this Aryan pig buys from Jews. And he said, that's not the Vienna that we have now. And when I came back, after long correspondence, and I'll tell you more next week, but he met us at the train with flowers and a camera, And he said, I'll be the man with a hat and a camera when you come to Vienna, and I'll be waiting. Next week I will tell you about Vienna with Herbert. How much time do I have left?
You have 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes.
I have 10 minutes.
A little less than 10 minutes. It's beautiful, Mom. It's very powerful.
Then let me tell more.
Yes.
Beate published my letter to the school, and I got such wonderful answers. The most important one was from a woman who wrote about her daughter. She wrote and said to my teacher, my daughter has very bad handwriting, and she has problems in school because of it. Could you help her? And Beate got me a letter which said, from my teacher, let her come to my home, and I will teach her to sit up like a princess, and I will teach her in my home. And she did. I want to explain. I am Viennese for the rest of my life. Vienna, like Italy, is a city of music. We were in Italy, and people kiss each other. And my children, who were with us at that time, said, I feel so at home with Italians because they love music and they kiss each other. And Vienna is that way. As a matter of fact, there's a greeting which is Küss die Hand, which means kiss the hand. And another greeting, Grüß Gott, which means I greet God. Instead of hello, instead of hi, the Viennese person says, God greets you. So I think the basic me is Viennese. Even though I am American and love America, and will speak about my America also. But right now, when I speak to you next week, I want to tell you when Herbert met us. But I do need to go back. Do I have time for another thing?
Absolutely.
His daughter came. She was doing research at Stony Brook, which is here in Long Island. And Herbert had written to me and asked if she could come. And it was wonderful. And she's in Vienna now with her husband and a little girl named Amelia. Are there any comments I should listen to?
Oh, so many comments.
May I?
Mm-hmm.
And we see you in Vienna next week.
Martha said, such a wise, wonderful friend. And Hernan said, much love from Christopher and Hernan, who will listen later. We're on the number 7 subway now, heading home from Christopher's first vaccination appointment.
Oh, I'm so grateful.
Eileen Cutler said, wonderful, wonderful Herbert. Sandy Alzak, cousin Sandy, said, good evening, Aunt Hedy. Ishmael and I are getting the first vaccination tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so grateful.
And Martha Bilski, he said, bless you, Herbert. And Eileen Cutler said, the Herbert connection is amazing.
Yes.
And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them in the time we have left.
Herbert is a great writer. Unfortunately, he writes about the things which people don't want to talk about. He talks about justice, and he protects people. He is a great human being.
Our wonderful friend Joe Tripp says the phrase Groß Gott is a term I encountered in my travels to Switzerland. Thanks for the reminder. In other words, they use that in Switzerland too. That same expression, gross. I probably said it terribly.
Groß Gott.
Groß Gott, however you say it. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not comfortable with the English hi and hello. I think kiss your hand is so much nicer, even though we can't do that now. There is no kissing. There is no hugging. And I cannot wait for the virus to disappear. Though in a way, Kenny today made that possible for me. Because we're in the house. Because it's spring. And because he's holding that phone by his hand. So that I'm not sideways. I would like to speak a little bit about the fact that we are all the same. In our world, we have people who have been treated badly, and they react by being bad to other people. I've just finished reading a book which made me realize I'm diverging. I'm going to something else.
Can I just read 2 comments?
Yes.
Okay. Laura Silver said, Hedy, I am metaphorically kissing your hand right now.
I love it. I love it.
And Maria Madero says, please continue to share your stories. And Eileen Cutler says, I must rush off to another meeting, but I love you all so. Stay strong and healthy, and soon we hug.
I can't wait. In the meantime, I still would like anybody who writes to me on Facebook or Messenger whom I cannot answer because I can't answer social media. I can only answer your personal codes. Please write to me about something wonderful you've done. I was with my son Kenny once in Penn Station, and we saw somebody who wasn't wearing socks, a homeless person. And we bought a pair of socks and gave it to her. Think of doing that. Deeds and Mike gave me the best idea of all of giving things away. And I'm packing every day. How many socks do I need? People are losing their jobs now. The country is going to be very poor for a long, long time. If you have more than what you need, give it. I saw an article in the newspaper, in the local newspaper, about a school child who rode to a homeless shelter, and they came and picked up. Okay?
It's time.
Thank you all. I love you so much.
Let me say that Brenda Gallen says, thank you, Aunt Hedy, for your beautiful pearls of wisdom. And Laura Silver is waving and kissing, and Sandy sending you a heart.
Thank you. Laura wrote a wonderful book about knishes, which is how I got to know her. Goodbye, all of you. I love you. Go change the world with me. Let's do it together.